Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello and morning all of you. This is Ashima and in this video we will be talking about daily current affairs. That is the daily news events are going to be discussed. The discussion is going to be more of in the descriptive format. That is, we'll be talking about the news events over here. And for all of you who want questions for practice or to keep in touch with the current affairs in form of questions, you can download Entri app, which is available on Google Play Store. So you can download Entri app from Google Play Store, and after you do the registration and everything, you have everyday free daily current affairs quiz, which is about 15 to 20. About 12 to 15 questions hardly for each day, and it is free. So you can do the registration and avail that daily quiz practice for you to keep in touch with the news events for the basic purpose. Now we'll be starting with our news events. The first news event that we'll be discussing is Human Development Report 2020. Right now, this report has recently been released, and what is in this report? Let's have a look. So, first of all, it was released by UNDP or United Nations Development Program. Right now, in this, a total of 189 countries were ranked, out of which India has slipped one position. That is, this year the rank has been 131. Last year, the ranking of India was 130. Right, so from 130, we have slipped to 131, and the score this year has been of 0.64. Right now, if we talk about the top rank holders, the top three are Norway, Ireland, and Switzerland. These are the top three countries in the ranking. Most of the times, you'll find the question about the top ranked country. Now, for neighboring countries, if we see, China is at 85th position, Pakistan is at 154th position. Now, what is in this report, or what is you can say measured in this report? We basically have a measurement of life expectancy at birth, political participation of women, maternal mortality rate. There are certain of these aspects which are covered. So, life expectancy in India was at 68.8. Maternal mortality ratio 174. Maternal mortality ratio is exactly the death per 100,000 lives. So mortality is uh, death per 100,000 life birth. Per 100,000 life birth, the death is the maternal mortality ratio. And in India, it is 68.8. Now, share of parliamentary seats in India, if we see, like when we see political participation of women, we will see the share of seats in parliament by women in India, and that is at approximately 11.6%. As per this was as per 2017, or as of 2017 when the last elections were there. Now, if we talk about the labor participation of women, that is 27.2%. So there's a lot of statistics involved in all of this, which you'll have to go through for once, especially for India's perspective. Then literacy rate in India is still the lowest even when compared to G20 countries. It is at 74%. If we see at the in and around of it, in that perspective also, we see that is much, much lower than other G20 countries also. Right now, how much has been spent on education? So it is about 3.8% that has been spent on education. Now, when was this report initially started? Now, Human Development Report was started in 1990s. So, 1990, the first Human Development Report was released, and it was by Indian Nobel laureate. Who was it? It was Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen and a Pakistani economist, that is Mehboob ul Haq. Mehboob ul Haq. These are the two people who devised this Human Development Report. In 1990, they released this report, and since then it is being prepared. In 2020, what was the theme under which all of this report was published? Was human development and Anthropocene. Right. Now we're moving to the next news event, that is Telangana Fiber Grid project. Now, what exactly is in this project? So, this is basically connectivity of internet via optical fiber cables. This is the whole scheme which is there. So, it is basically providing internet, high speed internet in the state via laying optical fiber network. Now, the optic lines are to be established, and for establishing or putting up of those lines, drinking water pipelines will be done simultaneously. So once the hole is dug, the optical fiber network lines are going to be given, and alongside drinking water pipelines is also being given. Now, drinking water pipeline is under Mission Bhagirath. So basically, to save the amount of expenditure on, you can say, digging again and again, Telangana government has done a bit of reduction on the costs, or by piggy banking Mission Bhagirath and Telangana Fiber Grid project, right? So, altogether, both of these pipelines are going to be done simultaneously. And now, if we talk about Mission Bhagirath, since it has come out in news, we'll talk a bit about it. So, Mission Bhagirath is a drinking water mission of Government of Telangana, as we have seen. And under this project, clean drinking water will be given. That is, fulfilling of Jal Jeevan mission is also to be done. So, from which rivers are they going to extract this water, source this water? It is from two rivers, basically. That is Godavari and Krishna. These are the two rivers from which the water is going to be sourced for Mission Bhagirath. Now, Godavari is the second longest river in India after Ganges, which is also known as Dakshin Ganga, and River Krishna is the fourth biggest river in India in terms of water inflow. So first three are Ganga, Godavari, Brahmaputra. Second is Godavari, third is Brahmaputra, and fourth comes as River Krishna. Right, and it is one of the major rivers in the peninsular India for obvious reasons. Now, if we look at the image, we have certain connectivity partners who are going to partner in helping the connectivity via optical cable fiber. That is BBNL, Sterlite, and L&T. Technology partners are Cisco, Nokia, and there are service partners alongside, as you can see, were Micromax, Abhiat, Seclon, D-Link, Apollo, and all of these, right? So 31 districts are there. We have recently seen that 31 districts are there in the area, in the state, and all of these are going to be are going to be provided with high-speed internet under this scheme. Next, which we have is YSR Free Crop Insurance Scheme. Now, what is this scheme about? So, YS Jagan Mohan Reddy has released this scheme in Andhra Pradesh. Under this, the farmers won't have to give, an amount as crop insurance, right? So, the basic, you can say, the idea behind bringing in this whole project is that the farmers need not share, or you can say get the put in some amount of amount as a share, or credit certain amount of share. So government has already put up 1252 crores of rupees into the bank accounts of farmers, that is 9.48 lakh farmers. In their bank accounts, this much amount has already been credited, being that once they take the loan, they don't have to give a certain amount as insurance. This was a part of his long yatra which he had which the chief minister had done. Under that, he has decided that the farmers won't have to give, or you can say share a certain amount as insurance. No amount will be demanded from them. There have been various schemes which the state government has done. We'll have to go through them for once. Then we have Regional Climate Center for Himalayas. Now, this is going to be developed on India's side. India is developing, and on the similar lines, China is developing on their side of Himalayas, right? So, this is not that India is doing only, India is doing it. No, there China is also doing the certain or similar setup. So, similar center is going to be built by China on their side of Himalayas, and India is establishing on the Indian side of Himalayas. Now, Himalayas are also termed as third pole of the world. This is, you can say, a static information question that might come up, seeing that uh, it is coming out in news, right? Since Himalayas are coming out in news, we can expect this question somewhere. Now, because of the role of Himalayas in hydrology, in disaster management, in meteorology, in ecosystem, so in Himalayas play a huge role or huge amount of role in a lot of things in India and around, and that is the reason why it is termed as the third pole of the world. Now, the regional climate center is being built over there. Why? It is because Himalayan region is one of those regions which is not studied much as of now. It is one of the unknown places, as we can say. There we don't have much of the data regarding the Himalayan region. So to gain that information or to gain that data, we are setting up this center, a research center, as we can say, which will have a look at and around the environment of the area, right? Now, Himansh, which is at high altitude of Himalayas, is already taking up weather research activities in Himalayas, but still there are certain, you can say, researches that are required, and for that purpose, we are setting up a data center over there. Next is fight against climate change in French constitution. How is this fight taking up? They are running a referendum, and this is going to be a national referendum. Now there are two kinds of referendum that can be done in France. As per the, you can say, the regulation of France, there are two types of referendums that they can do. One of them is a people's referendum in which all the people are involved and all of them have a say in it, right? And as per the majority, they can give the decisions. Second is a legislative referendum. So one is a national one, which we are seeing over here, and one is a legislative referendum in which the legislature is involved. In both of them, as per the majority, the decision goes over there. Right? This is a national referendum that is going to be constructed. So, who is the president of France? First of all, the question: Emmanuel Macron is the president of France, and he has launched this referendum or the idea of referendum. What is there in the referendum? It is to add the fight against climate change in the constitution of France. That is, they already are working towards climate change. But should that be added in the constitution and made a certain, I can say, a certain mandatory thing, or it should just be in the talks? For that purpose, they have decided to get a referendum, a general vote of the people, and if people agree on it, then it is going to be added in the constitution. In you can say a draft bill is going to be created and it is going to be entered into the constitution as a majority, or you can say a major point for discussion. Now, in a referendum, first of all, whenever there's a referendum, there are basically the question is framed in such a way that either you have to give a yes or a no. It's either you can say yes or no kind of question that is put up, and as per the people, it is given. Now, in referendum, there can be two kinds of majority. One is a simple majority in which majority of people, that is more than 50% of the people, agree on certain thing or disagree on a certain thing. But double majority is when the voters in majority of states and in majority, that is, if there are, you can say, France has 40 states, then you can say at least 25 states have given a positive answer, like majority of the majority in 25 is going with a yes as the answer, and that majority is, you can say, 75%. That means that it is a double majority, that is major of the states and majority of people both are going in a certain favor or in a certain disagreement, right? Now, French government has submitted its nationally determined contributions or NDC with European Union. Now, what are the NDCs of European Union? That is, cut the greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2030 and cut greenhouse gas emissions by 75% by 2050. These are the two NDC or nationally determined contributions of European Union. That is important because of, you can say, the steps that are being taken by the European Union countries for that matter, right? So that making it important over here. And rest of all, if we talk about Paris Agreement, then the US is the first country to have walked out of Paris Agreement, and there are chances that after the new president takes up or takes over the position in US, then there's a chance that they might take the place again in Paris Agreement, that is 2015 Paris Agreement, right? Now, France, as we can see, a recent report which was released in which the only country in in the G20 which is working towards the Paris Agreement in a positive way, in a positive direction, is UK and India. right? So these are the only two countries. So France is already lagging behind in the Paris Agreement for the matter, and therefore these steps are certain kind of mandatorily required. Apart from that, there are certain climate change emergencies that you need to know about. So climate change emergencies have been released have been put up in certain countries. Courts have also given decisions in certain countries, that being in the last 1 year only. So you need to have a look at those and make a you can say a map out of all of those. Next being Brand India mission. Now this mission has been launched by the government of India for, you can say, making India as a brand, or bringing Indian brand companies and products on a top scale. So for that purpose, government of India is launching a Brand India mission to promote the quality of products that are manufactured in the country, for which purpose Indian and international consumers both will be educated about the products that are made in India. And for promotion of that purpose, Brand India initiative will offer tags. Now these tags will be given to only those products which are in line with what the you can say quality standards for India are, or what standards the government of India has set for the particular product. So there are certain you can say caps, or you can say certain guidelines which have been put up. Now those manufactured products which carry a minimum of 20% of local content, or are very good, which are good with the health and safety standards of the country, if they are good at that part, they will receive a made in India tag, right? And this in turn is going to enhance the, you can say, give a push to economic growth, exports, employment, and certain of that part. Initially, right now, the focus is on two sectors, that is tire industry and rubber industry. These are the two industries in which India is focusing as of now. Focus as of now, but there are certain other industries which are soon to be added into the part, right? Next being Maharashtra Shakti Bill. Now, if you people remember, there was a Disha bill which was launched by Telangana, no, by Andhra, for safety of women. Now, or you can say in similar lines to that, Maharashtra has launched bills which will help in bringing up more and more, you can say, safety standards. So Maharashtra Shakti Criminal Law, Maharashtra Amendment Act 2020 has come up, and special court and machinery for implementation of Maharashtra Shakti Criminal Law has been launched. So first of all, Maharashtra Shakti Criminal Law is there, and for that purpose, a special courts and machinery is also going to be implemented as per these two laws which have come forward. It is somewhat similar to Disha Act of Andhra Pradesh. Disha Act was launched in 2019, around October, November or something, and similarly Maharashtra has launched around this time. Now, what has happened in this? First of all, a third explanation has been added in section 375 of IPC. And what is that explanation? That is presumption of consent. That is, the consent for any sort of sexual activity has to be given clearly, rather than presuming it that maybe it is a yes. So there's not something called maybe, or it was indicative. It has to be a clear one. So no presumption has to be there. It is basically for rape cases. So it is talking about no presumption of the consent is supposed to be done. This is under 375 section of IPC. So section is very important over here. Then acid attacks victim will be given compensation of 10 lakh rupees for plastic surgery and facial reconstruction. So for all of those who have faced acid attacks, they'll be given money as a compensation for getting their facial reconstruction and plastic surgery, right? And then the death sentence, when it comes to sentence for death penalty, so court can give death penalty if the accused is of gang rape or penetrative sexual assault against children. So death penalty can be given, no double thoughts will be given, but it has to be either a gang rape or a penetrative sexual assault against children. Then the trial processes, as of now, the trial process had to be completed within 60 days. That has been reduced to 30 days now. Along with that, online, you can say, disturbances or threatening or intimidations which are done on social media, if any person does something like that, then also the punishment is to be given of 2 years and 1 lakh rupees fine will be given, right? And it is something you can say, just like last year, POXO Act was amended and Disha bill had come forward on the similar lines, or enhancing that and bringing better standards for the purpose. This act has come into force, right? Now, for all those who are filing false rape cases or giving threats or extortion or defaming of the accused, for them also regulations have been put up so that wrong use cannot be done, or you can say basically extortion and other things cannot be done. Next, apart from that, there was a Justice Verma committee which had been created after the Nirbhaya case for bringing in IPC and you can say amendments in IPC. For that purpose, Justice Verma committee had come up, and in that case also there were certain amendments which are brought, and these are all in line with that. Next, KV Kamath Committee. Now, KV Kamath Committee has been formed by Reserve Bank of India. It is a 5 member expert committee which has been formed, and KV Kamath is former CEO of ICICI Bank. Now, this committee had been set up and they had given certain regulations. Now, RBI is going to put in those recommendations forward, and 26 stressed sectors which were identified by KV Kamath committee. They had identified 26 stress sectors. They will be under TLTRO, or Targeted Long Term Repo Operations Scheme. Now, what is TLTRO? Now, TLRO scheme is the one in which banks can invest in corporate bonds, non-convertible debentures, and commercial papers which are issued in entities of specific sectors. So basically, investing in commercial sector will be allowed under the sectors which are identified under TLRO scheme, right? Now, apart from this, there was another scheme which was launched by RBI that is important, that is ECLGS. ECLGS 2.0. This was another scheme which was launched to bring you can say these sectors or uplift these sectors. ECLGS is Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. Right, this is ECLGS which was launched. So this was also launched to bring in the economy on a upper scale. So for this purpose, 100% collateral free additional credit will be given to these 26 identified sectors under KV Kamath committee. So under ECLGS, 100% collateral free additional credit will be given, and under TLRO, investment can be done in corporate bonds and non-convertible debentures for that part, right? Now, TLRO will be conducted on tap by RBI for 3 years. This is again important for all the banking examination aspirants. This whole news event and the committee recommendation and implementation is quite necessary to go through. Next, a few one-liners that we'll have a look at. First of all, Prime Minister Boris Johnson is going to be the chief guest of Republic Day parade this year. So, announcement has been accepted. Sorry, the invitation has been accepted, and announcement has been done that this year the chief guest is going to be Boris Johnson. That is the Prime Minister of UK. Now, UK is the first country to have launched COVID-19 vaccine. That is again another important news associated with UK this year. Next, Indian Coast Guard ship Sujit has been commissioned in Goa. And this year, no budget session will be there, or winter session will be conducted by the parliament. Recent session was conducted, and as you know, there's a regulation by parliament that within 6 months, the session has to be done. That is, at least 2 sittings have to be there, and that maximum gap that can be there, that is going to be 6 months. So let's see when the next session is going to be there, but budget session has been cancelled this time. Then India Post Payment Bank has launched Dark Pay. Now for Dark Pay, the unique feature about this is that it will involve the postal network as well. So for this we have a special video on Entri app which will be coming up today, so you can check that video also for getting up more information on that. Then United States has removed Sudan from the state sponsors of terrorism blacklist. So Sudan was in the blacklist that it is you can say financing or supporting or sponsoring terrorism. So from that Sudan has been removed now. Then 2000 Amma mini COVID-19 clinics have been set up in Tamil Nadu, in which each clinic is going to be provided with 1 lakh rupees on an initial basis or giving it a push. And later on, maybe they will be giving up. Now, Tamil Nadu is one of the states which is quite hit with COVID cases, or number of COVID cases are quite high. At least 8 lakh people are there. It is the fourth most affected state in the country with 8 lakh patients of COVID-19. So these clinics have been set up to give initial care, you can say, to all the patients that are there, right? Now, where will this be set up? These clinics are going to be set up in those areas which are closer to construction laborers' home, because they are more exposed to the environment or the chances of being positive, right? From where is this fund going to come? So the funding will be given from National Health Mission. So a bit of contribution is going to from National Health Mission. Then United States has recently imposed sanctions on Turkey under CASTA. What is CASTA? That is Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, which is under the CASTA Act, Section 231 is the one under which sanctions have been issued on Turkey for making purchase of S-400 anti-missile systems from Russia. Right, and on that part, India has also been given, you can say, a kind of warning to India and all other countries also who make purchases from Russia. So let's see what goes on ahead for other countries. But for Turkey, sanctions have been issued under CATSA. Now you need to know the full form of CATSA. You need to know under which section this whole acquisition has been done and on what purchase has this happened. Right. Now, with this, I'll be winding up the segment, and I hope this section has been helpful to all of you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead, and do hit the like button and share as much as you can. Thank you, and have a great day ahead.